Please be seated. Good afternoon. My name is Jim Foley. I'm the head of school, and it is my honor to welcome you as we gather here today for the 155th Commencement Exercises of the Manlius Pebble Hill School. Greetings to all of the parents and guardians, grandparents, family, friends of the graduates, to the members of the MPH Board of Trustees, our commencement speaker, Mac Cummings, the faculty and staff, and especially to the class of 2024. A commencement is a beginning, the launch of a new journey for our graduating seniors. Yet, it has taken the efforts of so many people over many years to bring us to this moment. Let's take a moment to acknowledge them. First, to all of the current and former members of the Board of Trustees, thank you. You give tirelessly and generously of yourselves to further the growth and development of a school that is one of the crown jewels of Central New York. You honor our past, support and safeguard our present, and envision our future. Your work provides the foundation upon which stands everything we do as a community. Thank you. To my colleagues, thank you. You have relished the opportunity to be a joyful presence in the lives of students, in and out of the classroom every day. You have cajoled, comforted, encouraged, redirected, consoled, nurtured, and played with them. You have helped them discover, appreciate, and develop their remarkable gifts. You have celebrated their triumphs, lent your strength and compassion during their challenges, and inspired them to reach heights from which they can now see even further possibilities on the horizon. Your dedication and care is reflected in every smile they share here today. Thank you. And if I may, one last special thank you to a pair of colleagues who will be retiring today after long and distinguished careers at MPH. Lower school teacher Karen Brang and Director of College Counseling Will Cardamone. Collectively, Karen and Will have devoted over 40 years of dedicated service to our school community, and it seems fitting somehow that they close their chapters together, since together they represent the entire breadth of the MPH journey, from our youngest learners to our graduating seniors. Our immense gratitude to you both. To the parents and guardians of the class of 2024, thank you. On this bittersweet occasion, thank you. The essayist Elizabeth Stone describes having a child as forever to have your heart go walking around outside your body. And now you stand poised to watch your children go wherever their hearts and dreams take them. But to get here, you poured your love and devotion into their lives. You nurtured what gave them joy because their joy became yours. And you imbued them with your values because their ideals would become yours. You also made the momentous decision to entrust MPH with the opportunity to share that journey. We are so grateful that you did, and grateful for all the countless ways in which you have nourished the life of the school with your presence, your energy, your volunteerism, your partnership, and support. It allows us to do the work that we find so joyful and fulfilling. Thank you. Seniors, I think it's only fitting that you take this moment to join me in saying thank you to your parents. Class of 2024, I urge you to absorb the import of this moment. Odds are, after today, You will never again gather like this. Gather as your class in its entirety. That is likewise a bittersweet thought to share, but let's be grateful for it today. You arrive here with the core values of MPH firmly embedded in your collective spirit, and each of you has individually helped shape the way those values are expressed. But this is truly an instance where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. You have enriched each other's lives in countless ways that you might not yet fully understand or appreciate. But I promise, with time and distance, your understanding and appreciation will continue to grow and unfold in the years to come. So take that spirit of the class of 24 with you, with purpose and intention. It is uniquely yours, and yours alone. Bring it forth into the world. The world needs it. And now, in that spirit, let's continue the MPH tradition of inviting members of the graduating class to share their thoughts during commencement. Please join me in welcoming to the podium this year's elected representative of the senior class, Skylar King.
Yes, perfect. Good afternoon. I'm Sky, and I was elected to speak to you today because, well, I don't know. Perhaps my peers thought it would be fitting for me to rant to them one more time. Nevertheless, today I'm going to talk about legacy. When I say that, I don't mean the lofty ambition to be recollected in 500 years, but instead what we remembered in 40. I'm here to talk about the legacy MPH instills in all of its graduates, whether we realize or appreciate it. Fellow graduates, today we advance into a world so divided I probably couldn't list all the ways in my 5-minute time slot. Despite that, we've been uniquely equipped with skills that will aid us not only in persevering through, but driving the next few chapters of our lives. The Manlius Pebble Hill community, values, and initiative will forever be the building blocks upon which our stories were formed. At MPH, we've developed in a small, yet closely knit community. Despite the claustrophobia I'm sure we have all at times felt, our size is one of our greatest strengths. Learning and socializing in a small community compelled us to master the adult skills of constructing durable friendships, persevering through conflict, and establishing the school's social and academic climate. Our size has enabled us to be the involved innovators we see today and empowered us to create bonds that we will always have, no matter how many years pass. At MPH, we've evolved into leaders of our school and communities, whether that be through the arts, athletics, academics, or a mix of all three. We have thrived, struggled, and persisted in these positions as they taught us the styles and stumblings of a leader. As a class, we have led sports teams to victory, organized charity events for our community, spearheaded plays, created clubs, and managed Model United Nations conferences. Many of us did these things concurrently in a way that only MPH fosters. Leadership has allowed us to discover new parts of ourselves, parts we will continue to expand on in college and abroad. The foundation of leadership we've created here, however, will forever be invaluable to our lives. At MPH, we've grown in a community that promotes agency, simultaneously helping us develop methods to respectfully stand up for ourselves and others, whilst learning how to listen to those around us. We take responsibility for our actions one way or another and know when we've made a mistake. I won't list them, but I'd like the graduates here to acknowledge these moments and the growth that transpired because of them. Agency allows us to go out into the world confidently, prepared with all the tools to draw our own lines of right and wrong. As a class, we have learned, grown, and persevered. The trials and teachings we endured here will forever be a part of us, no matter how far we travel or how long we are apart. If there's a lesson to be learned from this speech, it is that legacy is not always what is idolized in 500 years, nor that which is immediately acknowledged. I doubt we will truly understand the powers we possess until we have gained the perspective of our parents and can see the usefulness of these gifts. While I have the lectern, really quickly, I would like to acknowledge my own legacy at MPH and thank my great-great-great-grandfather, Thomas Eugene Hitchcock, who graduated from the Manlius School in 1911, starting my family's tradition here. Definitely chose the right school. So looking at the class I see now, the graduates of 2024, I cannot wait to re-meet you all in 20 years and see what you've accomplished with the foundations we created. Thank you.
Thank you, Skylar. Our next speaker is the president of the senior class. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Raphael Jennings.
Hello, my name is Raphael Jennings, and for those of you who do not know me, I have been an MPH student since pre-K, which makes me a lifer. For this reason, to reflect upon my time here is to reflect upon practically my entire life. And even though that would take way more than 5 minutes, I am extremely grateful for this opportunity. Last year, in Miss Strickland's psychology class, I learned what the term a sliding doors moment meant. Yes, referencing the Gwyneth Paltrow movie, sliding doors moments are small instances that change the trajectory of our lives in ways we don't realize while they're happening. Although it's hard to pinpoint exactly when they happen, I can think of one sliding doors moment that has stuck with me. One day in 10th grade, while I was sitting in Miss Shabani's classroom towards the end of the year, I overheard her say something that turned that day into a sliding doors moment. In a soft but demanding voice, she turned to one of my classmates and gave the advice, "Always choose what's hard, always choose the challenge." In 11th grade, I brought my first short story to the Literary Arts Society. The story I chose I had written in 10th grade, but I had never shown it to anyone out of fear that it was too inaccurate, senseless, cringy, or maybe just bad. But one day, when Mr. Zanka asked me if I had anything to read to the group, I heard the words of Miss Shabani bounce in my head. Now, even though I was intimidated by all of the English nerds and good writers in the club, I decided to be blind to the possibility of judgment and brought my story in and read it. The story was a fictional tale of how I imagined my birth mother in Colombia. For me, writing it felt like putting my mind onto a page. Now, whether the story was liked or was good is irrelevant, but in retrospect, I think of the community I became a part of and the expression I was allowed by just saying yes. Through becoming involved in the Literary Arts Society, I found that my love for writing was worth something. Storytelling has led me to believe that the key to feeling fulfilled is to create your dreams while you're awake. Now, you will never actualize your dreams into reality if you don't make the hard decision to see past your insecurity first. Because even in the most seemingly insignificant moments, the fear of being vulnerable is robbing you of transformative opportunities. To the parents and families, thank you so much for choosing MPH. 30-minute drives to and from school are not easy. Pushing your kids to get good grades and pursue every opportunity is not easy. And the financial sacrifice that comes with independent schooling is not easy. The way that I see it, each graduate sits here today because someone in their life has already envisioned this moment for them. It can be costly to be invested in the success of others, so thank you for your decisions that led us all here. To the faculty, you define the MPH experience. Thank you for bringing your passion and care to every classroom. Yet even though every class I've taken at MPH has taught me a lot, I realized it's not about what you're teaching, but instead how. My mom has always said that students leave MPH feeling like they deserve a seat at the table. I agree, yet this only comes from classrooms that are tailored to uplift us into more aware, more passionate, and more confident people. I remember a sign in our 5th grade classroom that said, "Question everything." This pursuit is only made tangible with teachers so ready to listen and then to challenge you. So thank you, teachers, for not seeing education as one size fits all, and for taking the time to understand us. The gift you bring is invaluable and immeasurable, so thank you for bringing it every day. To my peers in the class of 2024, although it may sound like a stretch, we have all been transformed by one another. Thank you all for embracing community and tradition while also being outspoken. I think that memory tends to dramatize our heightened emotions, those of anger, disappointment, sadness, and elation. But as we grow old and apart, I hope that we can remember the daily lessons we learned from each other. We are inheriting a world full of strong opinions, violence, and rapid change. So like Ms. Chablani told me, I ask that you remember to choose what's hard and what seems challenging. Because forgiveness is hard, kindness is hard, and seeing things for what they truly are is a challenge. So don't be afraid to stand by your morals, even if you're standing alone. And remember that every opportunity to lead others is a privilege. As I reflect upon practically my entire life, I'm choosing to remember the good on the same level as the bad. From the hours spent laughing in the library to the middle school interventions in Mr. Leclerc's office, it's the tiny, uncalculated moments that I consider sliding doors. So thank you, MPH, for changing all of us for the better, even in the moments when we could not sense it. Thank you.
Thank you, Raphael. Now we're going to take a moment to enjoy a musical performance by the members of the Upper School Band and Orchestra under the direction of Tyler Amy and Anna Freeberg. performance. During Friday's baccalaureate ceremony, various members of the senior class received awards that are listed toward the back of the program. Two of the awards that were presented during baccalaureate come with the additional distinction of the Order of the Phoenix. Those awards are Head Scholar, awarded to the member of the graduating class with the highest academic standing during their junior and senior years, and Dean's Plaque, awarded to members of the graduating class who have distinguished themselves by demonstrating a sincere interest in the life of the school and the well-being of its students. As many of you know, the lineage of Manlius Pebble Hill School dates back to 1869 with the founding of what would become the St. John's Military School. The Order of the Phoenix was established there in 1908 by its headmaster, General William Verbeck, in order to recognize the outstanding accomplishments of students, alumni, faculty, and friends of the school. In recognition of their loyalty, integrity, citizenship, and dependability, for their outstanding service to Manlius Pebble Hill School, and for earning Head Scholar honors and the Dean's Plaque, it is my pleasure to confer the Order of the Phoenix in the degree of Commander upon Head Scholar recipient Skylar King and Dean's Plaque recipient Zoe Gross. Skylar and Zoe, please come to the stage to be recognized. This afternoon, we present two additional awards, the Head of School's Service Plate and the Head of School's Service Cup. The Head of School's Service Plate is presented to the senior boy who best represents the personal qualities of loyalty, courage, integrity, citizenship, and dependability. This award is also recognized with the Order of the Phoenix distinction. Since he was in middle school, the recipient of the Head of School's Service Plate has been invested in helping his classmates have as positive an experience at MPH as they can. Through his service on Student Council, he took the initiative to develop a new MPH tradition, Winterfest, so students could go into the December break in a festive mood. In and out of the classroom, teachers and peers value his positive attitude, which is also reflected in his volunteer commitments outside of school as an EMT. A natural spokesperson for his peers, his optimistic attitude contributes to a welcoming and encouraging learning environment and social dynamic. An insightful, diligent, and intellectually curious student, he has taken on daunting academic challenges and pushed the boundaries of an acceptable course load here. And as we heard in his own speech at baccalaureate, his capacity for authentic self-reflection and the deep care he has for his peers exemplify MPH's core values. Congratulations, Nathan Rubin. For his outstanding service to Manlius Pebble Hill School and for receiving the Head of the School's Service Plate, it is my pleasure to confer the Order of the Phoenix in the degree of Commander upon Nathan Rubin. The Head of School's Service Cup is presented to the senior girl who best represents the personal qualities of loyalty, courage, integrity, citizenship, and dependability. This award is also recognized with the Order of the Phoenix distinction. The recipient of the Head of School Service Cup may be best known for kindness and compassion, qualities that create a ripple effect of positivity that enhance the social and academic dynamic at MPH. That positivity may not be immediately evident when she blasts decisive winners on the volleyball court or takes sparkling free kicks on the soccer field. In those competitive settings, we see her determination, the quiet fire that leads her to give her all to everything she does, and to leave things better than she found them. That desire to leave things better led her to begin a notable new service and leadership club at MPH, Volunteers in Action, and to participate in Zonta Club and the new Student DEI Committee. Taken together, her kindness and determination have elevated our school community in ways large and small that we will long remember. Congratulations, Emily Fadakani. For her outstanding service to Manlius Pebble Hill School and for receiving the Head of School Service Cup, it is my pleasure to confer the Order of the Phoenix in the degree of Commander upon Emily Fadakani. I now have the privilege of introducing the President of the Manlius Pebble Hill School Board of Trustees and an MPH parent in the class of 21 and 23, Mr. Evan Dreyfus.
I'm vertically challenged. So on behalf of the board, I'd also like to welcome our parents, our grandparents, families, and friends to the 155th annual commencement of MPH. When I was getting ready for this morning, that number 155 just kept hitting me in the head. That is a big number. And Jim already alluded to it, but we started this commencement in 1869, which is a mere 4 years after Abraham Lincoln was killed. So we have a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be proud of. I can tell you from a board standpoint, this is the best day of the year. This is the day that we circle on our calendar. There's no better feeling than to see these well-educated, articulate young students getting ready to tackle the world. It means the world to me and the rest of the board, and congratulations to our seniors. But the good news is, my job up here is not really to talk, it's to introduce our commencement speaker. And our commencement speaker is Mac Cummings, class of 1997 at MPH. And little does Mac know that we have a board member who also was a class member of Mac in 1997. So I tried to get a little extra color or something juicy, and much to my avail, I did not. Mac was known as very smart, very funny guy. He was very active on campus. He was really good at Model United Nations, excelled at lacrosse, and he graduated here in 1997. He went then on to Cornell University, and there at Cornell is where he sort of got part of his entrepreneurial spirit. He started a high-tech company there at Cornell and started out of his dorm room dealing with Fortune 500 companies. After graduating Cornell in 2001, Mac and another MPH alum started a company called Terakeet here in Syracuse. And I'm proud to say that Terakeet, in the last 25 years, is one of the most successful startups we've ever had here in central New York. His company does web search optimization, which is, he was at the right place at the right time, as we all pore over our cell phones and laptops all day long. So he's been super busy at Terakeet, but he's never forgotten MPH. He's been a very good ambassador to our school and a supporter. His company has continued to flourish and grow. He has over 400 employees now. He has won too many accolades and awards for me to mention up here at once, but there was one award that caught my eye, and I want to talk about that for a second. In 2022, Mac Cummings won the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award, which is a pretty heavy-duty award. Past winners of that award include Howard Schultz, who started Starbucks, and Reid Hoffman, who started LinkedIn. So thank you, Mac, for putting MPH in some very elite company. We are honored to have here with Mac today his parents, Larry and Martha, his wife, Rochelle, his 3 kids. And I will say that all that education that he has received here and at Cornell has served him well, because he's figured out how to spend his winters in Palm Beach and his summers right here in Skaneateles Lake. So please join me in welcoming Mac Cummings, class of 22. 97.
everyone, to Mr. Foley, faculty, the board, Evan, the staff. Thanks for inviting me back home. To all the parents and the families, take a deep breath. It's done. You made it. It's over with. You're going to get your diploma in a few minutes. Most importantly, class of 2014, congratulations. As Evan said, a long time ago, 1997, I graduated here. I wanted to say, all these Jordan sneakers I see, the Jordan 1s, we actually had to play basketball in those. That's how long ago it was. But I remember it vividly. My graduation speaker was Tobias Wolff, the famed American author. My sister's graduation speaker was Steve Wynn, the famous casino magnate. My business partner, Pat, gave this speech a few years ago, and he deconstructed a Robert Frost poem for all of us. And today you get me, a guy that barely graduated. The teachers can confirm this. The good news is I'm not going to talk about business. I'm not going to talk about technology or the future of AI. I'm here to talk about your future and how you can shape the world. So I'm going to share a couple lessons, 3 lessons to be exact, from my life. And I'm hoping that I can pass some of that on to you. And I've connected a lot of my success with the experience that I received on this campus. I grew up about 17 miles south of here on Route 81 in a place called Tully, New York. I was desperate to get out of there. I'd heard about MPH, but it wasn't really a possibility for me. And then one day in the paper, I saw that there was this scholarship exam, and my parents brought me here, and I took the exam. Somehow I got in, and I got that scholarship, and I felt really lucky to be able to do that. My mom, who's here today, was a teacher for 35 years. She ended her career at Onondaga Central, and she would work nights during the week to provide for me to be able to come to the school. My dad, who didn't go to college, or whose parents didn't go to college and was the first in his family to go to college, worked really hard. And if you'll give me the opportunity, I just want to thank both of them for everything they did. Even though my parents instilled this idea of education, I was quite a menace on campus. That was a really nice introduction. It didn't really capture what my teachers know happened here. And in spite of myself, I learned a lot. I learned how to program in the computer lab right over here with Mr. Gatling. I read a bunch of books in Miss Bentley's class. I read a bunch of political books in Dr. Mangram's class, who you all probably know. And those experiences all gave me a chance to dream. And I did a lot of dreaming, just not a lot of studying. And I left my graduation ceremony, today, 27 years ago, pretty disappointed. I was headed off to SUNY Albany, not Cornell, which is where I got in. And one of my favorite teachers, who I spent a little bit of time with earlier, Mr. Curtis, came up to me and he gave me a little bit of tough love. He said, "You're not going to make it. You're going to flunk out of college because you're incapable of being a college student." I don't know if you remember that, but you really said it. It was in the lunchroom. It was right here. I was holding a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Trust me. It's okay. You can't do that now. You could not have done that now. But back then you could do that stuff. And I thought about it all the time. In my first semester at Cornell, I said, "You know what, Mr. Curtis? Screw you, I got a near perfect GPA." And I applied to Cornell, and I got in. And the 18 months between graduation and that time ended up being a pivotal moment in my life. So anyways, as I said, there's 3 things I want to talk to you about today. First, the important choices you'll make in your life, the most important trait you can cultivate, and the most important piece of advice that you should ignore. So in your relationships, you want to follow the Aristotelian rule. I didn't actually know what that was. I Googled some stuff, I looked it up, and I saw it. And what I mean by that is you're greater than you want to be the sum greater than the parts. So you want to find partners in life who are additive, who make you better, who make you more interesting, who expand your horizons. My 10th wedding anniversary was on Friday night with my beautiful wife, Rochelle, who's here in the front row. we sat down talking, and she said, you know what, we make a great team. And I thought about that, and really that's what it's about when you have a partnership. This old saying that, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And I created this beautiful business relationship with this guy that graduated MPH a year behind me, Pat Daniel, about 25 years ago. And we've had all these different challenges, and we push each other, and he does a bunch of stuff that I don't do well, and I do one or two things that he doesn't do well, and that's kept us together. But you're not far away from making the decisions that will affect your careers in your life. People mostly fall into these decisions instead of making them intentionally. So my advice is don't. There's no substitute for picking the right people to be around you. Lesson 2 is just show up. What does that mean? It's the most important trait that you can cultivate. And I found that getting into the room, introducing yourself, asking a question, offering someone for help has been the most effective strategy in business and in life. Everyone can do it, most people don't. They just don't have the confidence to push their way into the room. So I'm going to share a couple of stories that I actually haven't told before. I don't even think my dad knows this story about showing up. So I was freshman year at SUNY Albany. I wanted to get into Cornell, and I figured I had this internship that my dad had helped me get at the lieutenant governor's office. And I worked up all this courage. I was going to ask the lieutenant governor when she was in town, Betsy McCoy Ross. She was lieutenant governor under Pataki. I was going to ask her for a letter of recommendation to Cornell. So I knocked on her door, and there was no answer. And I walked in, and she was asleep on a leather couch in her dress. And I quickly closed the door, and I was like, oh my God, she's sleeping. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to wake her up. So I walked back in, and I tapped her on the shoulder, literally, and I woke her up. And she had no idea who I was. And I said, I work for you. Can I have a letter of recommendation? I'm trying to get into Cornell. And she's like groggy, and she's like, sure, can you write it? I said, yeah. So I literally ran downstairs through the corridor at the Capitol. I typed up a letter on the letterhead from the lieutenant governor's office, and I ran back upstairs, and I had her sign it. And I put it in an envelope, and I mailed it to the dean at ILR at Cornell. And I got in. And if you, thank you. Now you know how I got in. Everyone always wondered. So many years later, we were kind of, stagnant at my company, and we were maybe like 30 or 40 people, and we got a ding every time someone filled out a form on our website, and I got this ding, and it was from a Gmail address, and I Googled the woman's name, and I saw she actually was one of the top people at Oracle, the giant software company. And I got on the phone with her, and it turned out she worked for the CEO of Oracle, and he needed services that happened to be what our company did. But we were just this little company in Syracuse. And she said, I'd really like you to meet our CEO. And I said, okay, give me the schedule. Well, actually, he's going to be in Boston tomorrow. And I said, what a coincidence. I'm going to be in Boston tomorrow. So that next morning, my coworker and I got in a car, we started driving. We're driving down the highway. We're just, that part where you're supposed to get off 90 and go around Albany, but I always would forget to get off 90. That part right there. We hit a turkey, blasted a turkey. The beak came through the windshield. There's glass, and my coworker was driving this little car, and he goes, oh my God, I just got this car, we got to turn around. I go, we're not turning around, we're driving to Boston. There's air coming in through the windshield. I have glass in my hair, and we go to Boston. We meet with them, we get the contract. It ends up becoming our largest customer. So every single one of you can cultivate this skill. It's approaching someone you don't know for work or a date. Costs you nothing. It often works. Very few of your peers will ever do it. So just show up and surround yourself with good people and a good partner, and they'll have the duty to show up with you too. And it's not just birthdays and weddings, it's the hard stuff. But when you're fortunate enough to find good people, go to them when they're struggling. They'll be there for you when you're struggling, when you're lost, or they're in pain, or you're in pain. That's what showing up means. you will remember and value those tough moments more than the easy ones. Lesson 3, the last lesson, is the most important advice that you should ignore. At some point soon, maybe it's already happened, someone's going to tell you to grow up. If there's one thing to remember, it's this: never grow up. And always remember what it feels like to be a kid. Take school seriously, show up early, and stay late at your job. Don't party too much, or too little, for that matter. But never grow up. When I started my business, little time went by, people started saying, you know what, you gotta grow up. Quit chasing this dumb idea. We tried to raise money, people said no. We tried to pitch customers, it didn't work. People laughed in our faces. The grown-up thing to do when I graduated was to go and get a real job, but I didn't listen. Never growing up means bottling up the feeling you have right now. The boundless energy, enthusiasm, optimism that comes from being young, but also from the good fortune at spending time at a school like Manlius Pebble Hill. At the same time, take criticism seriously, right, Mr. Curtis? Take advice from those people you've intentionally chosen to surround yourself with, and have convictions, but don't let go of them without damn good reason. So, to wrap it all up, you control your own destiny. Not everyone can say that. There's 8 billion people in the world, and you're the lucky few, because you're here, that get to write your own story. I don't have each of your stories, but I got to sit down with all of you for a little bit of time. And one of the big questions that I got is, Mac, are we going to be prepared when we leave here? And I can tell you that I experienced this place much like you have. As time's gone on, I've realized what you probably don't know yet. These teachers, coaches, staff will have a profound impact on the rest of your lives in ways you can't imagine. I mentioned how I learned to program right over here in Mr. Gatling's class, and I saw the early days of web crawlers. I never imagined a life advising companies on how to navigate all of that and take advantage of tools just like the ones that I saw in this computer lab over here. One of the books that I read in Dr. Mangram's class was a biography of Bill Clinton written by this guy, David Moranis. That sparked my love of politics, but I never imagined it would lead me to work on internet strategy for governments and politicians, let alone sit at my dining room table playing cards with Bill Clinton. When Mr. Curtis gave me that tough love, I've mentioned you like 6 times, I apologize. I never imagined that this voice would stay with me to this very day, tapping me on the shoulder from time to time. When I started out, I was trying to convince everybody that I was brilliant, and as I've experienced some success, I've got that voice tapping me on the shoulder reminding me that I'm not. Each of you has your own experiences, moments you'll look back on that shaped you. If you choose your partners wisely, recognize the value of simply showing up and the necessity of staying true to yourself, you'll be proud of the path you take, I promise you that. Let me close with a lesson I wasn't able to follow. I missed most of my summer after graduating because I had to work. So if you can, learn from my mistake. Have fun this summer. You deserve this. Be proud of yourselves. Hold on to this feeling, this moment, your classmates, your school. Have a blast. And remember, even after summer's over, be a kid. Don't grow up. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thank you, Mac. Thank you very much. Okay, class of 2024, you ready? All right, please stand to be recognized. Mr. Dreyfus, would you please join me at the podium? Evan, I now present to you, as President of the Board of Trustees, the class of 2024. All members of the class have successfully completed the MPH course of study and have contributed positively and productively to the life of our community. On behalf of my colleagues, I recommend to you and to the Board of Trustees that each member of the class of 2024 now be presented with a diploma as a graduate of Manlius Pebble Hill School.
Okay, guys, it's time to rock and roll. By the authority vested in me as President and Treasurer of the Board of Trustees of Manlius Pebble Hill, I hereby declare the class of 2024 as duly graduated and entitled to a diploma. I would now like to invite our athletic director and classical language teacher, Will O'Malley, to assist me, announce the names, and we'll get these diplomas out.
Seniors, when I call your name, please walk to the stage to receive your diploma. Azriel M. Anderson. William Benedict. Emily Amina Fadakanri. Mira Beatrice Fadakanri. John DeListo. Elise Lynn Eng. Omaya Lillian Marie Gaines Howard. Zoe Gabriella Gross. Ava Gray Hallbritter. Deng Yao He. Oliver Patrick Hewitt. Rafael Andres Jennings. Sharon Anastasia Kim. Skylar Ann Carson King. Sabrina G. Loop. Molly McRae Mahoney. Caroline Claire Mezzalingua. Dahlia Marlowe Nemish. Lance Robert Ogden. Carter J. Patton. Jeffrey Piscarino. Gabriella Charlotta Range. Nathan P. Rubin. Abraham Burton Solomon. Sung Haudze. Thatcher Thomas. Yamakani Vitusi. Aiden Whitted. Scott Zucker.
Graduates, please remain standing. And on my mark, please switch your tassels from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the class of 2024. At this time, I'd like to invite senior vocalist Elise Eng to step forward and lead us in the singing of the school's alma mater, the words for which can be found on the last page of your program. Please rise as we sing the alma mater.
Among the Manlius Pebble Hill, loud we raise the chorus, and our motto will fulfill while we've life before us.
please. And thank you to all of our student musicians. Before we close out today's ceremony, I want to note that there are many people who contributed significantly to today's commencement, often working behind the scenes to make a day like this possible. I'm sorry, folks. Yeah, you guys can sit. Sorry. So special thanks go out to Mr. Mike Longden and the entire MPH facilities team. Chef Christine Lowe and members of the Culinarch team for putting on today's commencement reception. This will be held in the Phoenix Student Center following the ceremony today. Katie Ray for our commencement program. For Kim Leibowitz, Alyssa Palmer, Kate LaPointe, and especially Juhi LaHaye, who organized and led much of the planning of today's commencement. Mr. Tyler Aney and Anna Freeburn for directing today's musical pieces. Our senior class advisors, Lily Kuo, John Oakes, and J.C. Zenka. Our division heads, lower school Amy Abdo, middle school Matt Spear, and especially head of upper school, Mr. Fred Montas Jr. And one last reminder that following our commencement program, all guests are invited to that reception in the Phoenix Student Center. So, class of 2024, this is it. Congratulations. You are now officially our former students. And you have joined the ranks of our extraordinary alumni. We send you out into a world that is equal parts exciting and challenging. But every generation faces a fresh set of challenges and opportunities. And I want you to draw confidence from all the hard work that you put in to get here today successfully. And the knowledge that your legacy joins a long line of leaders to have preceded you across this stage. You've got this. But we will miss you terribly. Come back to see us often. Remind us of your infectious enthusiasm, your unbridled joy, your generosity and kindness. And let us remind you, anytime you find you need it, of the amazing people that you are. MPH will always be home for you, a place to serve as a touch point, grounded in the knowledge of where you came from, so that you might always have a compass to steer by. Here at MPH, you found your voice. Now go use it. Make a difference in the unique way that only you can. Let your life speak. My best wishes to everyone for good health and a safe and happy summer. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you.